the royal
We do nothing
public.
wrong. I mean, we're just perfectly reacting to it. Everyone else is wrong.
Obviously. That's the point of this podcast, is that we are right and people should listen to us. There's your clip, business boys. There's your show promo clip.
Hello and welcome to HR Confessions. I'm Rebecca Taylor.
And I'm Kim Rower. We're here bringing you unfiltered perspectives from the world of HR with real stories and hopefully some good advice.
And today we're joined by our special guest, Jessica Winder. Welcome, Jessica.
Woo-hoo.
Jessica is,
So stoked.
Yay. Jessica is the Chief People Officer of Winder Law Firm and founder of Hidden Gem Career Coaching. She helps organizations and individuals unlock their potential, not through corporate jargon, but through radical honesty and heart. She's also the author of The Hidden Gem Within and a keynote speaker known for saying out loud what everyone else is only thinking. Whether she's on stage, on LinkedIn, or in the boardroom, her goal is simple. Make workplaces work for people, not against them. And if you don't already follow her on LinkedIn, there will be a plug for it afterwards, but definitely highly recommend it because Jessica's content in my feed is what makes me so happy throughout the day. And it's what brought her here. So Jessica, welcome to HR Confessions.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I did a post today about insurance fraud. So I got a lot of stories.
That's right. And you rock a hot pink pantsuit like nobody I've ever met in my life.
I love it.
Every time. I love it. Every time, like, it's very good from a branding perspective because every time I'm scrolling through my feed, I'm like, there's Jessica.
You're gonna find
and
me.
it's very similar to our HR Confessions pink. So
I love it.
It's going to be great. I love it.
So nothing.
I love
is
your
not
floral
burn it
suit
all
too.
down. So you know, down to the ground.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And that's what I love. That's what I think is going to work so well about this because our job is to bring you crazy workplace stories and then have commentary on what it is. And so I was like, who better than someone who just calls out the corporate bullshit all the time and can really just lay it out. This is what's normal. This is what's not normal. This is what things should be. So today, I actually have a story that I think is going to resonate a lot. It's about one of the most common and infuriating HR fails we've ever seen. And we see a lot of them. This one is about the re-entry after parental leave.
Deep sigh.
Deep sigh. This is very timely. This was the topic of my my session at the Rethinkability Summit was about re-entry after caregiver leave. I co-founded a whole fucking company about it. Jessica's re-entry from parental leave is storied.
Oh yeah, for those that don't know, I have 2 sets of twins, so a lot going on in my life. So I've gone out on leave twice, and I am the exception. My leaves were both amazing, and I had amazing leaders, but I also know the other side of it, and most people don't have my experience, and it's really heartbreaking.
And you've gone on leave twice, but both times that was with 2 babies.
Yes,
which is in just my experience having 2 babies who are not twins, 2 is exponentially greater than 1. Oh, yeah. It is not double. It is 10x.
I got the BOGO deal. I won't get one free. Both sets of twins, I have them in matching shirts that say buy one get one free.
I love that. I love
that. I also think you crush the twin content too because your Halloween costumes and everything. I'm always just this is the sweetest family. I don't know. I could just gush about it because like I said, everybody has to follow Jessica because you do really good snarky content. You do really good just human content. And that's why I'm really excited to talk about this with you because I love that you've had a great leave process because I think you kind of show what it can be.
Yes.
Where it's not just an ideal state. It can be a good experience and it can go well. It doesn't have to be awful. And so we're going to kind of talk about what happened with this particular person today.
Amazing.
We ready?
Prepare to rage. Yes.
Yeah.
My hackles are already up.
I know. It's you can see throughout this, our shoulders just get higher and higher. It's just the way it always goes. So today's HR hero is someone we're going to call Shayla. Shayla's been out on parental leave and is about to return to work. And Shayla did everything right. She gave plenty of notice. She prepped all her documentation before she went out. She trained the fill-in. She even made herself a checklist for when she returned. She's a go-getter. She's an organizer. She's on top of it. She's a rock star. She's exactly the person who you want on your team. So Shayla went out on parental leave for 6 months, has a baby, keeps a whole human alive, doesn't sleep more than 3 hours at a time, just casual stuff. And then 6 months later, baby's good. Shayla's exhausted, obviously, but she's ready to re-enter. Like, she's ready to come back to work. She's nervous, but she's hopeful because she loved her job before she left. So she was like really looking to kind of like come back to that place that she felt really welcomed, really inspired, you know, juggling a few different new things, but still ready to kind of come back to something that was like really important to her when she started on this journey. So I'm going to pause here. When someone's coming back from parental leave, there are some best practices, right? They're not policies everywhere. There's not laws, but there are some best practices. So what are some things that re-onboarding after parental leave should look like? Some basic stuff.
I think exactly that. You need to be re-onboarded like you're a new employee. So that's the way that I've always directed my team. Like, this person has been here, but 6 months, like, the company's new, especially in my situation, I was coming back in a startup. 6 months in a startup, like, we had a whole different product. We were doing all to be treated like a new hire. Like, send me through orientation, have me do intros with the new people, like, truly treat me like I'm new here and that I don't know what's going on, because I don't. You know,
right? It's like, who are all these people?
Like, I'm new. And that's also what I told my team. I am a new person. Like, I am different now. Treat me like I'm different, because I'm a different person now. Like, everything about me has changed since I've had these 4 kids, you know? So treat me like that. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is like, treat them like they're a new hire, like re-enter them into the organization. And most people don't do that. They just are like, oh, you're back. Here you go.
Right.
Yeah. If you even notice.
Yeah. And I think the other piece that I would add to that is to consider the gradual ramp up, just like you would with a new hire that you're onboarding, but also this person is going to have existing relationships and existing projects they were working on. They're going to try really hard to hit the ground running to prove that their parental leave didn't impact them. And it's your job as a company to make it a safe reentry and to make them feel supported. If they're someone who's coming back and they're going to be pumping at work, like, they have to build breaks in their schedule for that. If they're going to be having to leave at a certain time so they don't have to pay $10 a minute for daycare overtime, like, all of these different things, you as an employer can provide like a checklist of like, hey, here's all the things the organization is prepared to do to support you as you re-enter. Because the the rehire, the re-entering person is not going to come in on their first day and be like, hey, I need pumping breaks at this time, and I need to be out of here by 4 every day so I can get home before daycare closes. And, you know, they're not going to want to ask for that stuff. Yeah. So you have to make it like, choose from this list. Like, here are things that we will do for you.
I love that idea. And one thing that I did, I want to say, is my first week back from both maternity leaves, I didn't have any meetings. The first week was truly me just reading documents, you know, talking to people on Slack, but I did not attend a single meeting because it was, to be honest, I was not in a great mental state. Like, I was crying and my babies. Like, you know, I just was not prepared to be back on video. I just wasn't.
Yeah. Which is fair. Even if you think you are, just assume you're not. Just because it's like, you don't really know what it's going to be like until you're actually doing it. And you kind of just need some grace to just figure it out, right?
You can always do more. You can always add on.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to take away.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually spoke with someone about this because I told them I was doing an episode about this, and I was asking them for their tips too. They're another HR person, and she said that when she went out on leave, she had an out of office that was basically just like, I am out on parental leave. I am scheduled to return on this date. All of these emails will be deleted when I return. Email me on this date or after this date if this is important, or if not, here's people that you can work with in the meantime, you know, to cover stuff while I'm out.
Read all the email you missed in 6 months.
I deleted it. If you don't got it by now, too bad. I did.
Yep.
If it's really that important, they'll reach out again.
Yep. Exactly. So I love this. And I love the idea, just even starting with like, here's a checklist of things that we can do. Let us know what you need. And one thing I'll say is also, if you are working in an office and you're on site and someone does need to pump, then you need to also make sure they have the space to do that, not just the time.
In the bathroom. Okay. Crazy ass people.
Yeah.
I will never forget having to kick a sleeping engineer out of the pumping room so that I could go in and pump. And I walked in and I was like, it smells like sweaty, sleeping teenage boy in here. And so I was like, I just had to send out a company-wide email being like, the pumping room is reserved for pumping, not for napping.
Not a nap room. Yeah.
I once had a company where we have designated pumping areas, and we had an incident of someone going in there to smoke. And yeah, using the pumping room to go smoke.
Oh my God.
That is bananas.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is bananas.
And we had like, of course, the new mom's complaining, like, well, I'm not going to
Yeah.
go in here. Like, it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember Google used to have, way back in the day, they used to have the pumping rooms, and they were only accessible by badge swipe. And when you came back from maternity leave, if you needed the pumping room, you had to like apply for your badge to be able to open those rooms.
Yeah.
I kind of
Otherwise,
love that though. If it
I
works.
know.
If there's not like a
It was
backlog of getting your name on the list, I love
Yeah.
that.
No, I think it was, as far as I was like 25. I didn't know anything back then.
Yeah.
Not even, I was like 22. I was a baby. But so I wasn't tracking whether or not the pumping rooms were being used appropriately. But that concept has always stuck with me. That's like, this is a room that is reserved for a specific purpose. So stop fucking with it.
Yeah. Do what you're supposed to do with it.
This is not for your naps.
Yeah.
Sweaty boys. sweaty boys. Sweaty, stinky, smoking boys.
Yeah. It's crazy what people will try to get away with. But so now that we've gotten, some good sort of lists of things, we're going to see what happens to Miss Shayla.
Oh, no. Shayla.
So Shayla logs in on her first day back. She checks her calendar, and there's nothing on her calendar. Like, nothing at all. No welcome meeting. There's no one-on-one. There's no re-onboarding session. No team sync. She figures, okay, maybe it's a quiet week. I'll ease in. So, Jessica, I know you said you spent your first week, you were like, no meetings, but there wasn't even like with her manager just saying like, hey, welcome back. You still work
Knowledge.
here.
Like, they sent out
Right.
a map. He's back.
Right. So she goes like, okay, maybe it's a quiet week. I'll ease in. She messages her manager. She goes, hey, back online today with like a smiley face. Let me know if there's a good time to sync this week. And she gets no response. Day 2, still nothing. Like no one is engaging with her. No one has responded to her, not even her manager. No one has acknowledged that she even exists or that she's back or anything. And I'm like already, my rage is simmering, just that like the lack of acknowledgement, not even interacting. So usually when your manager's ignoring you, what are some things, what are some flags that this raises?
Yeah.
Yeah, about to get laid off.
Literally, my first thought is, she's on the list. She's leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she finally gets a meeting with her manager on day 3 and she comes in ready. She's got a draft 90-day plan because, again, Shayla's an organizer. She's prepped. She's like, I did my own 90-day plan. I've got a list of questions and things I want to know. And it's basically everything that you'd expect from someone who's re-entering after half a year away. And her manager, who's not reached out once before this, says, I don't need you to create a plan. I just need you to do the plan.
Excuse me?
So, yes. So her manager doesn't want to hear her plan for things. She's just like, just freaking do it. Like, I don't need to know what it is. Just go forth and do it.
That makes zero sense.
No, it doesn't. And it's giving like, I don't care because you're not going to be around for long anyway. So like,
yeah, and like we did fine without you for 6 months, so I don't care what you do now.
Right. And so like
Christ.
the thing is that she created this plan, which is basically just like have conversations with people, kind of the basic, because like you can only figure out so much to do when you've been gone for 6 months. Yeah. So for her to just do the plan is not really great guidance either, because like there's not really a plan. It's just like figure out a plan to make a plan. She's got plans for plans. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
So there's no direction. She has no idea what's changed, what's expected, who's on the team anymore. But apparently she's behind before she's even begun. Like she's being held to this like crazy standard. So a week later, she gets a letter from HR mandating that she returns to the office 3 times a week. And now, a quick word from our sponsor, SkillCycle. SkillCycle is a talent development system that connects performance management to one-to-one coaching and development. The SkillCycle platform aligns individual growth with business objectives through continuous feedback, AI-powered development paths, and leadership training. As a SkillCycle co-founder, I'd love to talk to you out there in our audience, progressive people leaders who really get it. Let's chat over coffee on us to give us some feedback on the episode and about the challenges you're facing today. You might just contribute to a topic on our next episode. Email us today at hrconfessions@skillcycle.com. That's hrconfessions@skillcycle.com. So this was she had a remote arrangement. It seems like it's sort of like a hybrid thing. And now she's being mandated that she has to return to the office 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So this is where it starts to get really shady. No one else on her team is being told to come in. It's just her. It's a remote first culture.
A lawsuit.
Like that's discrimination right there.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Protected class discrimination. Done.
Yep. And like what's crazy is that her manager's remote, her team is remote, but somehow she has to schlep into an empty office with a breast pump and no assigned desk 3 times a week. They do hot desks. So like there's not even going to be a spot for her to go. She has to just sort of like book a desk 3 times a week, bring all her shit in with her to work with whom? To still send emails and Slack messages to
be
her
on
team
Zoom all
because
day.
everybody else is everybody else is remote. Yep.
Garbage.
So she asks around. She's like talking to her peers in other departments and she goes, is this like a new policy? Like is anybody else being told maybe from other teams that I don't know about? Is this also happening to them? And it turns out it's just for her. And HR won't explain why. No one will explain why. No one seems to understand what's going on.
They're trying to get her to quit. Yep.
Yep. So are we burning it down yet? Where are we at? Checking in.
Oh, yeah.
Honey, I have...
Jessica and are like, where are the matches?
Try that, Dawn. Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you'd be right too. But Shayla keeps showing up. She keeps asking for clarification. She keeps trying. And I don't like to try to get too much into someone's psychology because I don't like to say that I know what people would think or do or whatever. But if I'm putting myself like in this, there could be a situation where there's like, you know, even if you know that things are about to kind of go down, you do have this sort of self-preservation, especially if you're like, you know, you're being rejected.
Like, I'm talking from a place of privilege to say burn it all down, but at certain points in my life, I would not have been able to do that. I would have had to shut up and take it because I needed insurance. I needed, you know, you don't even know. Like, for example, I developed high blood pressure after my first pregnancy. I'm still on high blood pressure medication. So insurance is very important to me. So you never know what why she needs to stay there. So absolutely. Like I respect it all.
Yeah. Once I got laid off from a job and they were like, we're going to pay you for the next 2 weeks, whether you come in to work or not. So like no hard feelings if you don't want to come in. And I came in for 3 whole days every day to try to like, I don't know, prove that I shouldn't be laid off, I guess, and like work really hard. And after the 3rd day I was like, well, this is dumb. Like no one's offering me a job. Like HR doesn't even want to talk to me. I am going to go sit on my couch. Yeah. But like, also, even then, even though I was a lot younger and earlier in my career, I didn't have dependents at that point. I wasn't going to have health insurance anymore, but like I was young and healthy. And this was like back in the early aughts when health insurance wasn't $1 billion a month. So I wasn't that concerned. If at this point in my life, even now, I absolutely would want to burn it down, but I would have to be very careful about when I threw that match because insurance and pay and like,
maybe is dependent on her insurance too. So
exactly.
And there could even be a bit of her that's like a little bit in denial. That's like, well, this is all really weird, but like I'm still getting paid. I still have a job. Like, I got to support my
like I don't know
family.
anything for sure.
Stay until she gets fired.
True.
Yes.
Right? I feel like, Jessica, you and I are similar in this way where like if I have any inkling that I'm getting fired, I am staying until they send me that last letter. Tell me to my face and pay me my severance. Like you will not get me to quit.
I'm not going to quit. You're going to fire me.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to do my job and I'm going to do it good. Like I'm going to do good work and I'm going to do exactly what I'm supposed to.
I'm very motivated by spite.
Oh,
me
absolutely.
Too. Yeah.
I'm speaking to everybody. I'm smiling. I'm sitting and have a great weekend. I'm sick.
It's so nice to be back. Oh, it's so great.
I'm sending out pictures of my babies. Yeah, you don't feel bad about this.
Hear the faces of the other people impacted by your bullshit.
That's right.
There's also like, I mean, I have no idea. I don't actually know when this story took place. So it could have been recently. It could have been 20 years ago for all I know. Well, remote first on Slack. So like not 20 years ago, but you know what I mean? But so I have no idea what the job market would have looked like then too. So, but there's also, now I don't have children, so this is speculation. This is things that I know from like friends of mine who do. Like the last thing you want to do when you have a 6-month-old is try to go find another job, regardless of what the circumstances are in the job market, right? Because like you're dealing with shit anyway.
Yeah. Yes. You're tired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's discrimination. People judge you differently when you're being when you're being interviewed and they find out that you have a young child. It's wrong, but it happens. So there's a lot of like fear. Yeah. So I don't blame her for hunkering down, even though I want to burn it down. I want to burn it down and then send in like fire people to come and save her.
Yes. Someone please like carry her carrying over the threshold wedding style, like some hunky firefighter, like rescue her out of the building.
That's us. That'll be us. The three horsemen of the of whatever. And like I think that, you know, so she keeps showing up, she keeps asking for clarification, all things that we would do IRL if this were us at the time, where it sounds like this is what our situation is, and this is what leads to the final insult. So after weeks of this awkward limbo, her manager finally calls a meeting because Shayla hasn't misstepped. Shayla hasn't done anything. So I feel like her manager was just kind of watching and like seeing if she just like messes it up. And her manager goes, "You'll be taking over support for our worst performing business unit." So she's now being assigned to the team that is like the worst performers. And they're not just underperforming, they're bleeding clients. They have bad leadership. No budget. Like, it's the area that the company's putting as little investment into as possible. No clear product roadmap. People avoid this unit like the plague. It's where your career at this company goes to die.
It's the glass cliff. They're glass cliffing her.
Explain
Setting her
the
up to
glass
fail
cliff.
so they can, they're setting her up to fail so they can fire her.
Yeah.
There's like the concept in politics where like if government's doing really bad, you like bring in a woman or particularly a woman of color. So they come in to take over like the failing company or the failing government, and it's their fault now.
Yeah, you can blame it on them.
Yeah. So she's going to come in, get promoted or reassigned to this terrible team, and they're hoping that it will continue to fail. Then they can blame her for the failure and fire her. I really want her to be like, great, spite. I'm going to turn it around. And this is going to be the best fucking performing team in the company. Fire me now, bitches.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but then you're just stuck with that team now too, or you're just stuck with that miserable
I
assignment.
love a project. What can I say?
I can fix them. I can. I
Yeah.
really
Ask
can.
me about the broken boys I dated in my teens.
And so she asks, like, she's like, you know, she's not stupid, right? So her alarm bells are off, and she's like, "Is this a temporary assignment?" And her manager says, "No, it's permanent. We think it's a good fit for your skill set." Which is code for, we needed somewhere to put you, and this is where careers go to die. So we're just going to let it ride out however we think that it needs to ride out.
Cool.
So just to recap, Shayla's been gone for 6 months. She comes back with zero support. She's given the worst team, and she's basically told, fix this or else.
Yep.
So how common, I'm going to pause to discuss again, how common is this kind of setup to fail post-leave?
I don't know how common it is, but I know that this setup to fail is like par for the course. Like, I've seen it time and time again. It normally involves some type of PIP or, you know what I mean, where they're putting things in writing now. It sounds like for her, they didn't do that. But I mean, this is absolutely like a thing that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shockingly common. So performance-based terminations post like parental leave are actually a huge issue, especially in the US, where it's basically like you purposely don't help someone get reacclimated to the organization. You seriously set someone up to fail, and then you almost like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then it's like, well, now we have statistics that say that people return from parental leave can't cut it.
Right.
So why would we then allow that to happen? Like that's what kind of feeds a lot of this ongoing and continuous bias, and it's a huge issue.
Yep.
I can see that. I also feel like there has been an increase, and maybe it's just because it's what I'm seeing, but I feel like there's an increase in people getting laid off or terminated while on leave, like not even getting to come back.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
I got terminated. I got laid off, I should say, 3 weeks postpartum, a month into the pandemic.
That's crazy. And like,
and then I had to do all my own paperwork because I was like, well, you laid off your VP of people and all this paperwork you're sending me is not filled out correctly. So I guess I'll fill out my own layoff paperwork and severance paperwork so that I get the money I'm owed.
wait, you had to do your own paperwork for your own termination while you were on mat leave?
They sent me the paperwork, and then I was reviewing it. I was like, you know, in my 3-week postpartum haze with a toddler at home also. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. Some of these things don't seem right. And I sent it to my employment attorney friend, and she looked at it and she was like, yeah, no, they didn't, this isn't correct. And so we like, I'm like, you know, in lockdown, pandemic mode, watching Frozen 2, nursing my 3-week-old, and being like redlining my termination contract.
Yeah, I didn't have
As
to do
one
that.
does.
I've had to do my own paperwork for a layoff. Like, I laid off the whole team, and then and I knew I was part of the layoff.
Yeah,
so
same.
I like laid everybody off and then did my own paperwork.
That's what happened at my last layoff. That's what happened. I wrote this was like the beginning of my Substack journey. I was like, I need to tell people how weird it is when you are HR and you are the person being laid off.
It's like you're the executioner with like you pull the string on the guillotine or something. Like, I don't know.
Chopping off our own heads.
Yeah. I mean, like, geez. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of, that's, I mean, I know that it's not uncommon, but it is just like crazy. And I agree, like, Jessica, I see it in my feed too. There's a lot more, and again, maybe it's just our algorithm, maybe it's more people are talking about, I don't know, but there are a lot of, there's a lot more that you're seeing of people like losing jobs while they're out on leave. And like, the thing that is really messed up is most of the times it's because of, you know, either the company struggling with money or like there are these types of issues, but the company struggling with money in most scenarios is not actually true. It's like shareholders just want to make more money or executives are getting paid a lot. Like when you're looking at companies like Amazon and Starbucks, like these huge companies that say that they're struggling with money, like you're not a 12-person startup that's seed funded, right? Like you are not, you are making these choices deliberately and you're stepping on people along the way.
And you know, I will say this is a good opportunity to remind people to look into your parental leave policy and see what it says about what happens to your parental leave in the case of a layoff or like a termination that's not, I can't think of the word right now, when it's not your fault that you got let go.
Yeah, not for cause.
Not for cause.
Jinx.
That like the only reason that it went so well for me when I got laid off postpartum is that I had written our policy and I made sure it was in there that if you're terminated not for cause while you're on leave, you get paid out for your leave and you get your severance payment. Because I was like, if something happens, like I don't want to be screwed out of my parental leave. And I know a lot of companies don't do that. And companies that I've spoken with, companies I've worked with on developing their parental leave policies, it's not because of any sort of malicious intent. It's like they literally don't think to include that in there. So then they get to a point where they're like, we have to lay this person off. They're on maternity leave and I'm going to just like shit all over finance. But I'm like, probably someone in finance is like, great, we save some money because they're out on leave. It's like, no. You still need to like pay out their leave and their severance.
Yeah.
Like,
I've actually never seen that be done. So I think that's great. But I literally have never seen I've seen them pay out the severance, but not the leave.
It's so important because people who are on leave are not expecting to have to be job hunting while they're on parental leave. Like, it's just,
it's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
And
it's not fair.
And the grand scheme
also
of terrible ways that this country treats people who have become parents, there is this burden on corporations to make up some of the gap. And like, it doesn't cost you that much money to do the right thing and take care of your person. I promise you that, like, you know, it's probably talking like maybe $10,000, maybe less. Like, is that going to be more important to this employee or more important to you as a company?
And if that's going to break your company, you should look at
then
your
you're
company.
in some serious trouble. Right?
Yeah.
And like, the better experience that the person has on their way out, if you're doing a shitty thing like terminating them while they're on leave, like at least it softens the blow a bit. It's better for your employer brand. It's better for your brand in general, your company reputation. Yeah. Like, just fucking do the right thing, people. Yeah. It's not hard.
It's also, if you write the policy the right way, so like you said, Kim, where it's like you have to pay out the entire leave plus the severance, then there's also, you could sometimes even have a case where it's more expensive to lay someone off than to just keep them and then let them return. Yeah, let them have their leave and then let them return and just revisit it in however many weeks or months or whatever, you know, is happening.
Because the business might be in a different spot. Yeah,
exactly. Especially if someone's got 6 months of leave, like that's a decent amount of time compared to, you know, most people they get 6 weeks if they're lucky. Which
and in the meantime, you have this person who gets to retain their benefits, they get to retain their salary, like things kind of continue as usual, and you're not completely disrupting someone's life at a time when it's already been completely disrupted by having a baby.
And I think that's like the part that is always the interesting math behind it. It's just like, is this really a cost effective decision? I mean, for any layoff, regardless of the reasons, whoever's on that list is like, okay, short term, you're going to be saving on these salaries or benefits or whatever, but how much productivity are you losing? Not just from the people who you're letting go, but the people who are staying, who are like, fuck this, I don't want to do this job anymore. Now they're going to be,
and the turnaround time when you realize you have to backfill some of those skills. And I mean, honestly, working at Oyster only made me like more angry and more righteous about this fight because other countries, we employed people in 70 countries when I was at Oyster. Other countries mandate this.
Yes.
Like, you can't lay someone off while they're on maternity leave, or you have to lay them off and pay them out for a year, or you have to pay them out for twice what their benefit would have been. Like, every country has a different law around this. The U.S. is the only place that's like, fuck you, you don't get anything.
Get nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they comply with that part of it, but for the American employees, it's like, oh, too bad. So, yeah.
Right.
Yep. I remember I was working at I was consulting at a company that was based in Europe, and they had offices out like all throughout Europe, and I'm not going to say where it was because I don't know, it might be too easy to find. So being vague on purpose, but we were part of opening their North American office. And part of the reason why they wanted to basically open up a North American office and focus most of their hires there was because of the lax laws around stuff like this. Because they're like, well, if we tried to fire someone in our home country, then we'd have to pay them out for a year, or we'd have to give them a year's notice and then pay them out for a year. Like you can't just do it. But the US, they don't care. So, but you know.
What are we doing here, guys? Why are we here?
Yeah. Let's get back. Maybe we get back to Shayla.
Citizenship?
Maybe we should get back to Shayla probably before we all spiral.
Yeah. It's a hard time to be a person in America.
It is. Well, 3 months later, Shayla gets an email invite. So she's in this underperforming business unit for 3 months.
Okay.
She gets an email invite, and the subject line is restructuring conversation.
Yay.
Y'all know what that means. This is such a surprising turn. Yep. She logs on, HR is there, her manager's there, and the conversation goes, we're making some difficult decisions across the org, and unfortunately your role is being eliminated. Except no one else is being laid off. There's no WARN notice.
Layoff.
One person.
No larger org changes, just one person getting laid off, and it's Shayla. And so she asks for a list of impacted employees. When she asks, they dodge the question. But she knows. She's like, I know that there's no one else that they're doing this to. When she asks for her severance paperwork, get this, it says position eliminated due to strategic realignment. So they're strategically saying that her job in this underperforming business unit is no longer needed. Yet no one else in this underperforming business unit is going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And she also wasn't even offered the opportunity to move to another position within the company. So like, it seems like this was a large company too, because she mentioned in the submittal there was no WARN notice, which usually a WARN notice is when you have to announce that you're laying off, a certain amount of people within a certain amount of time. So you have to give that's why everybody knew that Amazon was going to be letting go of all those people, because they issued the WARN notice, then they had the conversations.
Well, and they moved her from another team into this team. And so clearly interdepartmental moves are a thing that they can handle.
Exactly. I would love to know if there's any other HR jobs open when they do this, because that's the first thing I would have screenshotted on the website.
Or even, I don't even think she's in HR actually. I think that she's in just sort of this unit, but I want to know if there are other jobs open within her discipline. And kind of be like, what about this
They've
job?
already opened the backfill. I had a manager who tried to do that once. They were like, we really want to lay this person off, but we haven't done it yet. Can we open up their backfill and start recruiting so that when we lay them off, we're ready to go? And I was like,
that's not a layoff.
Yeah.
You can't do that. No.
That's not a layoff.
But why? That'll be so much more efficient. I'm like, because laws, because people, ethics. That's not how this works.
Oh my God. The stupidity sometimes.
Why are people
and the difference.
They do.
Yeah, people do be
They
peopling.
do, Jessica.
Oh my God.
They do be peopling.
And if anybody's listening to this who doesn't come from HR and doesn't talk about layoffs versus terminations all the time like we do, usually with a layoff, it means that position is being eliminated. So that person no longer works there and that role is not being rehired. A termination is when you remove someone from the position and then you backfill that role. So asking to reopen a backfill on a layoff is it's not a thing.
No.
But companies try to position terminations as layoffs because they tend to be a little bit more wishy-washy. Yeah. So people don't ask about performance. They're like, well, I never got any performance feedback, so why am I being terminated? They don't ask questions like that in layoffs because the reason for a layoff is different from the reason of a termination. So companies try to hide shitty terminations under the guise of a layoff. And it usually you don't just lay off one position though. That's not a thing.
Not a thing.
No.
You're saving what like $6,000 a month in salary, probably depending on the level of this person plus benefits. I don't know.
if you're like a 10-person team and each person has their own function and you decide you're no longer going to have that function and there's one person who does, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Right. We're talking about a bigger company. Yeah. We're not talking about a little person's like a little like, employee number startup. Like we're talking about like a real company.
Yeah.
My dog also likes to chime in when he really agrees with what we're saying. So he's vibing.
He's vibing.
He's ruing. He's like, roo.
He's like, I'll go get those rude people. So position eliminated due to strategic realignment. Strategic realignment, we really know just means we didn't manage this properly and now we have no idea what to do with you or where you belong and we'd rather not deal with it. Or the parent tax. Maybe it's the parent tax, which is just another... Both? Yeah, why not both? Maybe it is both. And so this is just another inspiring commitment to equity. And that's the story that I have for you for Shayla and how her position was eliminated and where she's at now.
Please, I know she didn't because who has the time and money to do this, but I wish she had sued them for discrimination.
Shayla, I hope you are in a lawsuit right now, okay?
Yeah.
I hope you get everything that is owed to you. Because that entire story,
wrongful.
Piece of it is wrong. Every single piece of it is wrong. And to be quite honest, like if they did this to you, I wouldn't be surprised if they've done this to somebody else that's come back from leave. So,
yeah.
I would love to see the analytics of the company of like people coming back from leave and their exit from the company. Like I want that map.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I was saying is like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because they could say like, well, 100% of the people that came back from, from leave, they didn't make it 3 months. So therefore we don't need that. That's just my impression of what I think that person sounds like.
Obviously. His name is Chad or Brad or Thad.
Okay.
Okay, so let's break it down a little bit further. I know we talked a lot about kind of like things that went right, things that went wrong. A lot more went wrong.
I'm like, did we talk about anything that went right?
Only thing that was right got 6 months. That's the only thing that was right.
Yeah.
And her own personal planning.
Yeah. And you know what I'm so curious about? I also wonder if like she got 6 months. I wonder how much of that is like PTO that she accrued to use then versus how much of that is like
the company policy.
Yeah.
Or was it paid or unpaid? I have some there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that information, but my nosy ass wants to know. So Shayla, if you want to give us more info, we'd love to hear it. Because I think that's sort of the part of it too, is that you see someone, for the amount of times they're out on leave. Obviously in the US, there is no guaranteed parental leave policy in this country at all. And so companies act like, you're lucky if you get 6 weeks paid at 60% and you just take that and you have to return back and, it is what it is. It's not even talking about how if you are able to take more time, how you're funding that time, if you're funding that time, and what's kind of, there. What I think is like, so if I break down the list of the things that like really went wrong, just to sort of like sum it up, we've got the lack of re-onboarding. So like not bringing her back in and getting her up to speed, clearly discriminatory treatment, clearly singling her out, questionable termination as a result of that clearly discriminatory treatment. Toxic return to office gaslighting. To me, this was gaslighting of like being like, everything's fine and normal. We're just going to put you in this, business unit and just, set you up to fail.
And isolation. I want to point that out. It sounds like they're like true isolation.
Yeah, that's a really good call out. Because they really did single her out where they were kind of blackballing her. They weren't talking to her. They made her be the only person that was in this office with, with no team.
Oh God, I forgot for a minute about they made her go back to the office. That's like classic abuser behavior, right? Like,
like a hostile work environment for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
And the part that's like so disappointing, I think, to me is just HR's failure to intervene. Like this is just
where was HR in all this?
Yeah. This is why, like, I know that we're very, just the three of us, we post about HR content all the time. We both worked in HR or work with HR, all the things. And, it's like there's so many opportunities for HR to do the right thing in this story. And it just seems like this was an HR person or team, or I don't know if it was just one person who was involved or many, but they're just going with whatever they're being told to do. Yeah. That is fundamentally not right.
That's all wrong. No. Literally the Scooby-Doo song is singing in my head right now. Scooby-Doo. Where is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's not even
giving
just
us
HR.
a bad reputation is what HR is doing.
And it's not even just HR that's, because some people are like, oh, HR is just office parties or kumbaya, whatever. It's like, this isn't even just about that. This is also about understanding the risk to your company and the role that you HR play in having these conversations with leaders and how they're making decisions. And I've been the HR person who gets pulled into like termination conversations with no context and just like, we need to fire this person today. And I'm like, this is the first I'm hearing of this. What's going on?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was the same thing that happened to this HR person who was there.
Could be.
But like, I want to know why they went along with it.
Yeah.
Because
And
you
I
don't
wanna
have
know
to.
why they didn't do a re-onboarding, because any company I've worked at, if somebody's on leave and they're coming back, like my team is a part of welcoming them back. So I want to know why they didn't do something. I'm not saying that to take it all off. I actually believe it's the manager, but I would have been talking to the manager about, this person is coming back. What are you planning to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Same. And I'd be like, hey, it's your first day back. Like, let's just like sit and talk. It's like 9 a.m. on your first day back. Like, how are you? How's life?
She clearly didn't get the like 30-day check-in, 90-day check-in. Like, how's your reentry going? Like, what do you need? I mean, if you are a person who attended the Rethinkability Summit, you'll be getting some stuff in the mail from the panel that I was on, because the panelists were just complete ballers, and we are putting together a written resource. It's like, when you're coming back from leave, like, here's some shit to do for yourself, and here's what companies should do for you.
Love.
But I'll share those on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Whenever I get them. But this idea that like you can come back from leave, whether you were gone for 3 weeks or 6 months or a year, and just be like plopped back into place and expected to succeed. Like, at Oyster, we dealt with this a lot because we had so many people in so many countries, but we had people going on leave for 12 months regularly. When they came back from a leave after 12 months, like 12 months in a hyper growth startup, like we had people who went out on leave when we were 80 people and came back and we were 650.
Yeah.
And like,
that's huge.
We're not going to just drop them in. We're gonna be like, okay, so we have new hire onboarding now. That didn't exist when you joined. We're going to plop you into our new hire onboarding flow and like get you up to speed and hold your hand and make sure you're like entering properly. And me as your HR partner, I'm also going to reach out to you personally from like a mental wellness check-in standpoint and be like, how are you adjusting? What do you need? Like, are these resources helpful? Hey, don't forget, we have a mental health benefit for you. Like, there's a piece of HR that's about empathy and like that kind of white glove treatment that like, it may not be scalable for the size of your organization, but there are ways to create programs and to operationalize it. You can set up automations through your HRIS. You can set up automations through your comm software. You can write a fucking Gmail and send it 3 months from now. Like, there are ways to automate this stuff so that you don't have to remember the return dates of every person going out on leave, but you can still reach out and support them human to human and make them feel like they didn't just disappear. I'm like, she must be sitting there being like, am I a ghost? Did my company forget I exist?
Yeah.
Like,
I second everything that you just said, Kim, because it feels so, I'll say from my own personal experience, I have never felt more vulnerable than after when I was on leave. Like, my pregnancies like just unlocked this level of vulnerability that I had never felt before in a workplace. And so the feeling of loneliness and isolation that she must have felt actually
Yeah. It's already one of the most isolating times in your life, even if you're surrounded by community. That's why, like, my advice to every new mom is like, find your people, whether that's your baby group at your hospital or a group of moms that you meet on the street. Like, some of my mom friends I literally met on the street because they looked tired and had a baby strapped to them, and I looked tired and had a baby strapped to me, and I was like, I think we're best friends now. Like, whoever those people are for you, like, it might not be your parenting ERG at work. It might be someone you meet in the waiting room at the pediatrician's office, but like, you got to find people to connect to because it's so isolating. And it sounds like this company just like further isolated her during an already isolating time. And that's just like, I want to like, I'm ready. Put me in. I want to find somebody.
If she's listening, I just say like, kudos. Okay. Kudos. Because what you went through was some bullshit. Okay.
That's right. If you need any type of like lens to that, it's like we can validate that is some bullshit that happened.
That is some bullshit.
Well, do we have any final thoughts thoughts? Any final thoughts? I want the manager to go on a PIP, and I want the HR team to have to take a course in ethics and parental leave, because I'm also like, if this is a big company and they didn't know how to handle this, I'm like, how the frick do you not know how to handle this when you're a big company? So I just want them to get a little bit of a lesson in basics of doing their job.
I would second, they need some training. And then the second thing I would say to like anybody listening to this, if you know of somebody that's on leave right now, like maybe take this initiative to reach out to them and just say, like, do you need help? What would support look like for you right now? Like, use this to just like whoever you know that's on leave, like reach out to them today, because it is lonely.
Yeah. Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
That's a good tip.
I love it.
Kim, anything you want to add? Any final thoughts?
I'm just like going back in time to when my first was born, and a friend of ours came over and was like, I'm going to do your dishes. And I was like, no, it's okay. You know, let's like just hang out. And he was like, no, I'm doing your dishes. Like, get out of the kitchen. I'm cleaning your kitchen. And like those kinds of kind of forceful friends matter so much. You can, I mean, I have mixed feelings on the use of AI for these things, but you could ask your favorite AI tool to help you come up with a list of how to support people returning from parental leave, help support people in your real life that you know. And like, if you have the capacity, if you have the spoons, the bandwidth, do it. Because I guarantee they have fewer spoons than you do right now.
Yeah. I love that. Come together for each other.
For each other. Like, that's all
Really
we can do.
You really do.
I'm writing a whole Substack this week about how capitalism is patriarchy, and we have to reinvent a different way of thinking about work, because matriarchy is where it's at.
I know. We should just keep on doubling down on that.
Yeah, honestly. Burn it down and replace it with women.
Well, that is it. Oh, the future is female, right? Isn't that what they said?
That's right.
Well, that's it for this episode of HR Confessions. If you have a wild parental leave return or have been on the side of HR trying to do it right, we want to hear from you. So please reach out to us at hrconfessions@skillcycle.com. You can DM me on LinkedIn. You can send me voice notes. There's so many random ways that you can reach me. I'd love to be able to continue these stories and to share more of what's going on out there. I actually just got like 3 stories today from people. So thank you for listening to the pod. Thank you, Jessica, for being here. This was so fun. Yay! I don't know how to do how do they do it now? Isn't it like
I can't. I'm
I can't do it.
We're old.
I'm a millennial. This is how we do it in my house. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks, Jessica.
And see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.